Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into a topic you probably never ever thought had a story to tell, let alone an epic one. Seriously, get ready for the saga of powdered butter.
And we are starting with a pretty dramatic question. I mean, forget your fancy aged wines or whatever. Just look at this humble powder and ask yourself, could this butter actually outlive you?
30 years. No, that is not a typo. If you do things right, under the perfect conditions, we are talking about a shelf life that could span 3 whole decades. So, how in the world is that even possible? Well, that's the story we're here to unpack.
All right, let's kick off Chapter 1, The Legend of Butter Dust. Before we can even get to its, potential for immortality, we got to understand what this stuff actually is. And it turns out it's a bit of a shapeshifter.
So, first thing you need to know is that butter powder isn't just one single thing. On one side, you've got the real deal, true dehydrated butter. But then, a lot of the products you see are actually just butter-flavored blends, usually made with vegetable oils. Knowing which one you're dealing with, well, that's the first step on our quest.
And this brings us to a huge fork in the road for our little powdered hero. It's got to make a choice between two completely different destinies. This is a true tale of two timelines.
Over on the left, you've got your pantry pal. This is what you'd typically find at the store, often one of those flavored blends, in standard packaging. Its lifespan? Maybe 6 months, maybe up to 2 years. But on the right, you have the bunker buddy. This is the good stuff. High quality, freeze-dried butter in totally oxygen-proof packaging. Its destiny? A staggering 15 to 30 years. It all comes down to what it's made of and how it's packed.
So what's the big secret behind this massive difference in lifespan? It really just boils down to two things: fat oxidation and moisture uptake. Think of these as the arch villains of our story. They're the forces that turn our hero rancid or, even worse, moldy.
And this brings us to the most action-packed part of the whole saga, fighting the forces of spoil. Yep, this is the training montage, where we learn exactly how to arm our butter powder for the long, long battle ahead.
Okay, meet enemy number 1, oxygen, aka the freshness thief. Oxygen is the main reason for oxidation, which is really just a fancy way of saying it's the process that makes fats go bad. It's what creates that gross, stale, sometimes even kind of soapy flavor over time.
Next up, we've got enemy number 2, moisture, or as we like to call it, the clump monster. Now, if moisture gets into the powder, it doesn't just make it all clumpy and hard to use. Oh no, it creates the perfect little home for its evil sidekick, mold. And nobody wants that. And our final villain is enemy number 3, heat, the speed-aging ray. Heat is basically a supervillain's sidekick. It acts as an accelerator for all the other bad chemical reactions. It makes the freshness thief and the clump monster work way faster, aging our butter powder hero way before its time.
So, how do we defeat these villains and set our hero on the path to butter immortality? It's a 4-step battle plan. First, you've got to choose a quality hero. Start with real, freeze-dried butter powder. Second, you repackage it for battle in something totally airtight, like mylar bags or vacuum-sealed jars. Third, you banish the villains by tossing oxygen absorbers into that packaging. And finally, you find a proper lair, a cool, dark, and dry place to wait out the years.
But, even with the absolute best-laid plans, sometimes the battle is lost. So now we have to talk about that unfortunate reality, how to recognize when your good butter has finally gone bad. So here are the major signs that our hero has fallen. First, any off smells. If it smells like paint or soap, that means it's rancid. Any visible mold is obviously a deal breaker. If it's clumping up because it's damp, has a weird sour odor, or, and this is the absolute worst, you see bugs, yeah, the battle is over.
Really, your best weapon is a simple sensory check. For smell, you want it to be buttery, pretty neutral, definitely not soapy or stale. For look, it should be an even, powdery color, not discolored or moldy. And for feel, it has to be dry and loose, not damp and clumpy. It's a super straightforward way to know if it's safe.
And this right here is a really crucial point to remember. Those Best Buy dates, they're about quality, not safety. A product that's been stored perfectly might be totally fine way past its date, while one that's been stored poorly could go bad long before. So, when in doubt, trust your senses. They are your most reliable guide.
Okay, so after all this epic talk of battle plans and long-term storage, what's our hero's true purpose? I mean, where does it really shine? Let's talk about the hero in your kitchen. Look,
This is not really the butter you're going to want to spread on your morning toast. Let's just be real about that. Instead, think of it as a legendary ingredient for specific culinary missions. It's fantastic in baking, for adding richness to sauces, and just in general cooking where that fresh, churned butter flavor isn't the absolute star of the show. And of course, it's a total champion for emergency food storage.
This quote from the source material just sums it up perfectly. For recipes where fresh butter flavor is essential, use fresh butter. It's all about managing expectations and, using the right tool, or in this case, the right butter, for the right job.
And that, my friends, brings our saga to a close. We've met our hero, we've faced its enemies, and we have learned the secret path to a multi-decade lifespan. So the only question left is for you. Is this powdered legend worthy of a spot in your pantry?